Hey friends, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I am going to be sharing with you guys a recap on my August goals and sharing with you my goals for the month of September. I do want to thank today's video sponsor. It is Skillshare. You guys know I've been sharing about Skillshare for years here on my channel, and I wanted to share an awesome class that I had my oldest daughter take as a part of like her elective, one of her electives that she's doing for high school. So I will share that here in a second. But I do want to tell you guys that out of all of the months that I've been doing these goal videos, which I started doing them back in January of what year are we in? 2021. I really struggled this month to like come up with goals, and I think it's just because the weight and the heaviness of everything in the world really was having me like almost feel this feeling of like insignificance into like my daily things, like what I accomplished today really doesn't matter, you know, like that kind of despairing or weary attitude. And so that is why this video is coming a little later on my channel. I usually try to get these up in the beginning of the month, and I told you guys I was going to do them all year long, so I'm seeing through the commitment. I don't know if this will be something that I continue moving forward after this year, but for 2021 I told you guys I was going to share a goals video every single month, and so that is what I am here to do. But I do want you to know that it was actually quite hard for me to to come up with goals. So anyway, Skillshare. So if you guys have never heard of Skillshare is an online teaching platform with thousands of classes from all different types of experts in different fields, from fun things like calligraphy and hand lettering to plant survival on how to keep houseplants alive, to even YouTube and online business expertise and tools and classes. There are classes for everyone, for every interest on Skillshare. So the class that I had my oldest daughter take went along with a hand lettering book, basically, that she got and is doing as an elective for one of her high school classes. I knew Skillshare would have something on there because we've done watercoloring in different classes in the past. So the class that I had her take on Friday when she does her hand lettering was a class, and I'm probably saying the name wrong, but Vidhi Khandelwal, and it's hand lettering basics, easy tricks and steps to hand letter like a pro. The total class was an hour and 8 minutes. She didn't do it all in one day, but I had her watch the first few segments. That's one thing that I really love about Skillshare, is that all of the classes are very concise and informational. So you're not gonna spend, you know, tons of time listening to other things. Like, it just cuts straight to the chase. And when I'm taking a class or having my child take a class, that's what I want. I don't want, you know, a whole lot of fluff. I'm not there to listen to it like a podcast. I like the information to be to the point and concise. And so she really loved that class. She got some great tips on like using those pens that I can't remember the name of the pens that we got her, but they're tricky to use, and so there were some great tips in there, my oldest daughter told me. So if you guys want to check out Skillshare Premium, I will have a link and a coupon code down below where you guys can sign up and get a free trial of the Skillshare Premium membership. All that information will be down below. There are classes, cooking, photography, anything you could want. So all that will be down below, and thank you so much Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. All right, so usually I do a recap with these videos, but I have a slight problem. I could go back and watch my August video, but I didn't do that, and I don't think I'm going to do it because I'm ready to film this now, and I didn't realize that I didn't copy down my August goals in here. So this planner that I got here, I got to start using at the beginning of our homeschool year, and it's an 18-month planner because I wanted something that went beyond a year. So I had another planner. If you've watched all of these goal videos, you'll recognize that this is a different planner. And I was using the other planner up until August when we started our new school year, and then I transferred over into this one. So the other one went in the recycling bin, and I didn't write down August goals in this planner because they were in that planner. So forgive me for not being able to recap them here on this video. I'm fairly confident that I accomplished them all, but we will see. I could go back and watch it, but I didn't have time to do that. So anyway, we're gonna go right into September 2021's goals right here. So I always break my goals down into categories. It just helps me like not feel overwhelmed. So my first goal is a homeschooling goal, and I wrote down to bring joy into my homeschool daily. So whatever that looks like for that day, this is kind of like a vague goal on purpose, but I just need to refocus my heart and my mind and just really focus on bringing joy into our school days, whether it's sitting and laughing a little longer, or reading a funny book, or I don't know, just like bringing a joyful spirit into my homeschool. That relies on me. I have control over that. I don't have control over anything else going on. And so for me, it's just a struggle because I do feel the weight of everything, and I feel like that is coming through. A lot of you guys have said in my videos that I've been putting up recently that I do seem kind of sad, and you guys are observant. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm not sad. I mean, I am sad. I don't know. It's a hard thing to explain. So anyways, I am just really focused on bringing a joyful spirit into my homeschool, and I am finding joy in the Lord and allowing Him to provide me with that joy that I need to have overflowing, that just I can't muster it up on myself by myself right now. Sometimes I can really dig deep and you know, lift myself out of the pit, so to speak, but right now I can't do that. And so anyways, I'm just focused on that. My personal goal is to stick to my personal disciplines. When we start back to a new homeschooling year, I am always assessing all the areas of life. It's like New Year's, but better for a homeschooling mom. I've said that before. Let me know down below if you agree with that. But I have disciplines in my life for a reason, because normally if you need to be disciplined in an area, it would be an area of life that would just spiral out of control if you didn't have that discipline. So like for me, that's what disciplines do. They keep me doing what I need to be doing, because it's an area of life that if I don't guard and protect, it could quickly like turn into a major problem. So things for me that looks like is going to bed at a certain time. If I just let myself do what I want, I will be up until 12:30 or 1 in the morning, and then waking up at 6:30 and getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then wondering why I don't have patience and joy in my next day. So it's like really ridiculous, and I know it, but it's still like my natural tendency is to just savor those quiet hours and just like, I don't know what it is, because I don't even have babies like attached to me anymore. I think it's just being alone by myself and quiet and giving myself permission to kind of like waste time in whatever way that I want. I think that that's the appeal for the late night hour, if I'm being completely honest. And so sometimes I work and things, but like if I work, it's even worse because then I need like some quiet time after that. So anyway, I have to discipline myself with my bedtime. And I know it sounds funny, but that's just one of those things that affects everything else. And it's so easy for me to just get out of the habit. Another one of those has to do with this device right here. My whole business, my whole work life, my whole everything is on this device. And when I am homeschooling, it can be very distracting to me. I always turn off notifications. It's always silent, but just knowing like the presence of this in the same room brings me some level of anxiety, or like, I don't know really how to describe it. So just knowing that it's there, and knowing that there's emails that I need to reply to, and knowing that there's probably comments that I want to get back to people on, like just knowing that it's there can sometimes distract me. Not all the time, but sometimes. And so I have to leave my phone in the other room when I am homeschooling, unless I'm doing something that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Then I will use it for a period, but after I'm done, I do need to go and put it away. So those are some of the disciplines that I really have to focus on, because if I don't, they will spiral out of control. And definitely over the summer, like definitely more relaxed on going to bed, definitely more relaxed on social media usage. And it's just time to get back into the disciplines that I have. Another thing that I implemented about a month ago on my phone was it's like a setting in your iPhone where you can set a time limit on how much time per day you want to use for certain apps, like your phone groups, certain apps like finance apps, social apps, you know, you get the idea. And so I went in and put a time limit on how much time per day I want to be spending on social apps. And that is probably one of the best things I've ever done. And it's not because I have an issue with being on social media for my own, like just mindlessly scrolling. That's not my issue. My issue is feeling the need and the desire to answer every comment and every question that I get. I feel this like really bad feeling if I cannot reply or I can't answer, and it makes me feel bad, and it makes me feel like I'm letting people down, and like I want to answer all the things but I can't. And so what was happening was I would give myself like times in the day where I would be getting back on my social media, and I would go in and the time would just get away from me. And it was never like all at once, but it was like an hour in the morning, an hour at lunch, and 2 or 3 hours at bedtime. And I was just like, whoa, I do not want to be spending that much time per day on an app. I am going to have to let it go. I always am like, I barely follow anybody on social media, to be quite honest, like very few. And so it's not an issue of me like looking at other people's things, although sometimes I do, you know, look at other people's social media too. But what I'm saying is I don't lose myself in hours doing that, but I will lose myself in hours answering you guys. And so yeah, I put that discipline into place. And of course it's just it like your phone alerts you. You could just put ignore limit and keep going, but I don't want to do that. And so it's been really, really helpful for me. So if you ever struggle, give yourself a time limit. I really, really recommend it. So that's my personal goal, is just sticking to those disciplines. My spiritual goal is daily scripture reading. I am only reading I'm reading 2 books right now. Over the summer, I kind of took a little bit of a break on, I read a couple of books, but I didn't read like 10 like I initially thought that I would, because I just felt this desire and this like yearning for just like a quieter spiritual season. And so anyways, I am reading right now, I can't remember the title. It's a John MacArthur book, like Heaven's Angels and the Glory of God or something like that. And then I'm also listening to Eve in Exile and the Restoration of Femininity by Rebecca Merkel. I have that here on Audible. So those are the two books that I'm reading, but what I'm really focused on is reading at least a chapter of scripture each day. And so that is like my spiritual goal. My relational goal for September is to really just, I don't know how to say this. I don't know. I really just want to, it's really hard to explain. So we changed churches about a year ago, and the church has been incredible. It's been amazing. Like, it's been exactly where God wants us. There has been wonderful things that have come out of going there. But the one thing that we all feel is that we're just not really connected. We're super connected to the pastor. Like, we love him. We're so thankful for him. He's so courage filled and bold and like just amazing. But we are just wanting to, now that we know that this is where God has called us to be for a while now, mind you, there's a year before this, so we've been there over a year. Because I think there can be a temptation to be like, I'm joining a new church and now I'm serving and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Like, we waited to prayerfully seek if this is where we were going to be and what avenues God was going to provide. And anyways, so relationally, I don't know what it looks like. I don't feel led to serve in the same way that I did at my previous churches. Jake and I both don't feel super pulled to do like a home group. So I don't know. It's like this weird feeling of wanting to be more relationally connected at our new church without doing the things that everyone recommends to connect relationally at church. So it sounds like so weird because it's like, well, duh, if you want to meet people, get in a small group or a life group or whatever. But Jake and I have walked through church changes before, and like the idea of just jumping into a small group without knowing like where people are at spiritually and who you're getting connected with and involved with, like we've had some bad experiences. So we are a little more cautious to just like do the Christian things, if that makes sense. But we're both feeling like we need to be more involved in some capacity. And so my goal relationally this month is not really to like sign up for anything, but I'm just praying that God would show us like how and in what way he would have us, cultivating relationships there. So those are my goals for the month of September. I told you it was probably the most challenging month for me to think things through, but I always feel more intentional and more focused once I've created goals. So if you're struggling and you're feeling like your mind is just swirling, maybe give it a try and just see if there's a few things that you might focus on this month. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to this goals video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Like I said, I don't know if I will be continuing these on after this year, but I will definitely see them through until December, because you guys know I am a woman of her word. All the information to Skillshare will be down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.
Driving through days and nights,